I'm Phoenix Wright, and I have shamelessly left this video on repeat for everyone else in the stream. Have you learned anything about it in this time?
The bloody handprint doesn't show up in this video. So if his, like, thing is that the murderer left it, and this is supposed to show when the murderer is there, then it doesn't show up while the murderer is there.
Sorry, so where would I be clicking for that?
I guess whichever locker the handprint was on?
There was a gloved handprint on Gumshoe's locker. And there was a bloody handprint on Marshall's locker, which is near the end.
The bloody handprint. And I think that's the evidence, because it's like, he's like, oh, the murderer put their hand over it, but there's no handprint that shows up in this video when the murderer was there. That's my guess, at least. I don't know if anyone else has a better idea.
Okay, so, oh no, I thought I hit pause.
Oh, there's fabric in the locker on the far left there, towards the end of the video.
Oh yeah, that too.
Enhance.
Now you have to fast forward, I think.
Hold on. This is not a fast forward. This is a regular forward. Oh, now it's fast. It's not that fast.
Okay, so that happens. Door opens.
Nope.
Nothing. And then Meekins is down. And then there's the cloth.
Oh. We clicking, lads?
Think we clicking.
Sure.
If I can figure out how. It's E to present. Take that! Bringing our attention back to the security camera for 5 long, arduous minutes is a mistake I'm afraid you'll soon not forget, Officer Marshall.
The days are short in Texas, and so are our tempers.
Objectively not true.
Could you sum up what you have to say in 8 words or less?
Mm-hmm. Very well. Shit, that's 2. Shit, that's 3.
There you go, there's 8.
You can clearly be seen in this video. He's like counting on his fingers like a haiku.
Mm-hmm. Exactly 8 words. Not bad, partner.
The key lies in a certain locker shown in the video. Jesus Christ.
The locker with the white cloth sticking out. That was the witnesses, I believe.
Now then, let's rewind the video a bit. Oh no. We will really never be done watching this video.
God.
Oh, the white cloth. It's gone. What's the meaning of this, Officer Marshall?
When the crime took place, the white cloth wasn't there. Then, it suddenly appeared. There's only one explanation. Officer Marshall, you were in the evidence room at the time of the crime. What's more, you opened your locker when the camera was turned away. Oh my god, look at his boots, you're right!
Oh my
They're
god!
high-heeled boots!
Huh? Order! I missed the line. I was distracted by the boots.
Hold your horses! Sorry, partner, but you got the wrong man. Look at my boots. See these boots? So what if my locker was opened?
These boots don't lie.
That doesn't mean I'm the one who opened it. The murderer needed to hide something, so he opened the locker and stuck it in. It's not my fault he happened to choose mine. Why is everyone staring at me like I'm a wanted man?
This guy isn't just playing dumb. He really doesn't know.
He's really dumb.
I hate to rain on your parade, but you're the only person who can open that particular locker.
Oh yeah? I call your bluff. You say I opened that locker. Now prove it.
I mean, it's not hard.
The fingerprint, yeah.
Bro.
Yeah.
Bruh.
Take that!
Fingerprint sensor? He's sweaty.
We talked about this earlier today. The lockers can only be opened by the detectives they belong to.
What kind of crazy talk is this? Like his jerky in his hand?
Well, Detective Gumshoe did mention something about this. Oh boy. Ahem. In any case, the locks aren't that obvious. There are even some people on the force that don't know about the fingerprint locks, like that idiot Jake Marshall.
He even makes me feel smart.
So, Sheriff, what do you have to say in 8 words or less?
Ooh, get him.
Ugh. Jerky?
Why is he
Yep.
eating jerky?
He's hungry.
Comfort food.
Oh my god, one word for you, partner. No!
They do look like slabs.
Order! Order! Order!
Safe.
Witness! Explain yourself! That was also 8 words or less.
This is a joke. It's the worst I've ever heard.
You haven't heard my other jokes. I assure you this is no joke, Officer Marshall. Now then, please tell us what you were doing in the evidence room at the time of the crime? Why did that become a question halfway through?
What?
Olay! Please answer the question. I don't know why they're all saying please.
Olay! What is he now, a bullfighter? That's all right, Officer Marshall. I believe we can figure the rest out from here.
We can?
All right, I can. Have a look at these floor plans. There is no place for someone to hide in the evidence room.
Gumshoe's like, I'm so proud.
He really made those maps without me. Yet, Officer Meekins didn't see Officer Marshall.
If that's so, then where was the witness? Are we really gonna have to do the thing again where it's like, oh, the witness was where the attacker was?
It seems Mr. Wright has an answer. That's right. The only possible conclusion.
Well then, let's hear it. Where was Officer Marshall at the time of the crime?
Well, guys, where was
He
Officer
was not
Marshall?
even inside.
He was over here, eating spaghetti.
He was in a locker.
Mm-hmm.
He got shoved there by bullies.
Oh no.
Oh. I mean, next to his locker, right?
Killer spot. I think
He
is
was
what
the killer, right? Like he's where the
Oh,
killer
never mind.
was.
Take that! Office Marshall was standing right here. Office Max spin-off.
they're-
For all your cowboy stationary needs.
So Officer Meekins didn't notice him standing there because he was perfectly behind the killer. That's almost as credible as Meekins' warp theory. Sorry, Meekins's.
Chamber's empty, partner. Better reload.
Damn. Oh, wait.
What?
Oh, I'm so stupid. Wait. Was Meekins technically the killer in that scenario?
Oh, maybe.
I think we clicked on Meekins.
Oh,
F.
right.
Now they're ganging up on me.
Perhaps you should think a little more about where Officer Marshall was.
Officer Meekins should have seen him in the evidence room. That means the only place he could have been would be...
Did we lose a life on that?
Yes, we
Well
did.
then, let's hear it. Oof.
Rip.
Where was Officer Marshall at the time of the crime?
Sorry, I guess. The killer was Meekins. My bad. Take that! Officer Marshall was standing right here. So it was spelled right when we got it correct.
That should have been the first clue that we got it wrong.
Good thing we got it wrong so we could get the secret Office Marshal lore.
There, but that's where the victim, Detective Goodman, was.
Mm-mm. Correct. Unless the man wasn't Detective Goodman. I believe the victim in the video is Officer Marshall. It was you, dressed up like Detective Goodman. Objection! But that's preposterous. Officer Meekins witnessed the detective at the crime scene. Once he saw the man's face, he'd know for sure. Objection! May I point out, though, that Officer Meekins did not know Detective Goodman. He also testified about the man's reaction when confronted. Oh boy.
What under that? Yep, you're welcome.
Yes, and how did Detective Goodman respond?
He suddenly pulled a knife on me.
Something about the officer's story puzzled me. If the man had had his ID card, why didn't he just show it?
Yes, he would have needed it to enter the evidence room, so he must have been carrying it.
The answer is simple. He couldn't show it. As you can see, Detective Goodman's picture is on his ID card. He couldn't show it because he was having a bad hair day on the day that they took the photo.
God. Oh, I get it. He had a bad hair day.
Exactly. If he showed that, his cover would have been blown. Officer Meekins would have realized the man wasn't Detective Goodman. Do you have anything to say to this, Officer Marshall? Stop eating jerky in court.
You've got quite an imagination, partner. Got a term for that. It's called circumstantial evidence.
Ooh.
Circumstantial
term.
evidence?
Damn.
What's that? He's still denying it.
You're gonna have to do better than that to break a detective. Unless you have hard evidence proving I dressed up as the victim.
I can't say I particularly care for your uncooperative disposition.
Can't say I care for your beard, but you don't see me complaining.
We
I'll say
literally...
again.
What? Yeah. Well, Mr. Wright, do you have any evidence proving beyond a shadow of a doubt that Officer Marshall dressed up as the victim?
Well, who am I kidding? I don't have anything like that.
I can see the fear in your eyes, partner.
Sweat on my brow.
Seems you're the one who couldn't take the desert heat.
Ack! This can't be happening. It's so obvious he's the one. What can I do? Time for me to save your ass. It looks like your lack of experience has finally been exposed. Okay, maybe not. I'll pass on to you what someone told me when I was just starting out.
This better not be from Von Karma.
When you've run into a wall with no place to go, return to the basics. The basics. For me, that would be what Mia used to tell me.
Phoenix, try thinking outside of the box.
I was joking when I said that Edgeworth was going to be like, time to save your ass, but I shouldn't look for proof that Officer Marshall was in disguise. But rather, I should look for evidence that came about because he was in disguise. Why do you think this locker was opened in the first place?
What do you mean?
There's no reason for Officer Marshall to open his locker at the time of the crime. Yet he did, despite the chance it might be discovered later as it has been. Which means he didn't originally plan to open his locker.
According to the defense's argument, Officer Jake Marshall dressed up as Detective Goodman at the scene of the crime. Then, after the crime was committed,
Allegedly.
he opened his own locker for some unknown reason.
The fact that a white cloth is sticking out of the locker seems to indicate that he opened it in order to put the cloth inside.
So, just what exactly is this piece of cloth?
Perhaps this video is the key to all our unanswered questions.
No!
I don't have any evidence, so the video's my only shot.
Only shot.
Take a shot every time we view this video.
You guys are gonna have fun with Apollo Justice.
I have
no.
a bottle of whiskey right here. Very well, let's take yet another look at the security tape.
Hang on, guys, I gotta go get a bottle of tequila out of the cupboard.
God.
After committing the crime, the witness opened the locker to put away the white cloth. Please show us why the witness had to open the locker.
Ah, welcome back to the Blue Badger's Fun Murder Corner.
Why is it just running in the evidence room?
Because it's battery powered, you can't turn it off.
Gumshoe didn't have the heart to turn it off.
No, yeah, he didn't give anyone a way to turn it off.
It's just like you
runs
can
until it
unplug the
dies.
batteries.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. I don't know, maybe he like soldered them in there.
Then how do you change them?
Build a new
You
one.
don't.
Okay, I don't know what we're looking for right
Battery
now.
case.
Proof that he had to open his locker for some reason.
It's the blood on his shoulder, maybe?
Probably.
Ugh. Like he had to put his coat in there?
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm. So it'd be
That would make
interesting if
sense.
Bruce Goodman's body was found with his coat, or if that's just a imitation cosplay.
Cosplay as your co-worker.
Cosplay as your coworker to murder someone.
Yeah.
Fun summer plans.
Just detective things.
Just cowboy things.
Take that! For some reason, you disguised yourself as Detective Goodman and entered the evidence room, though I don't know to what end. Yet.
Yet.
However, something unexpected happened. Officer Meekins barged in on you. When asked to show your ID card, you pulled a knife on him. However, Officer Meekins panicked, and the white coat you were wearing was soiled with blood.
A bloody white coat.
You couldn't just walk out like that, so you hid the coat in your locker.
Not bad, partner.
We're not partners
What?
anymore. Rip. Look at those boots.
Jesus. Now then, Officer Marshall.
Tell me where you bought those boots.
Are you ready to tell us the truth?
Looks like I underestimated y'all. I hope you're happy now, Mr. Edgeworth. 2 years ago, if you were only half as persistent then as you are today, we wouldn't all have to be here now, would we?
Officer Marshall, tell the court what you did. All of it.
All right. Seems the time has come.
Marshall's confession.
I had to do it that day. I couldn't just stand by and let it die. I stole the detective's ID and dressed like him. I planned to take out the evidence. I wasn't expecting Officer Meekins. I knocked him out and managed to escape. I knew which areas wouldn't be caught on the camera. There wasn't any murder in the evidence room at 5:15.
So the supposed victim was really you.
But there's one thing I still don't understand. Traces of a large quantity of blood were found on the floor of the evidence room. If no one was murdered, then how could that be?
Officer Meekins managed to cut his own hand. My guess is he's the donor.
It's a lot of blood for a hand.
I mean, there's a lot of nerve endings in your hand. Hands bleed.
That doesn't mean there's a lot of arteries, though.
It was way too much blood for such a small donation. What?
I feel like hands bleed a lot, though.
Yeah, go ahead and cut the whole hand off. Just have a wrist.
Marshall just has a stump under that or not Meekins.
Marshall is missing a hand now.
Yep. Hold it! When you say it, you mean...
Do you even have to ask, partner? Look, there's no quotations around that one.
Great, we're partners again. The SL9 incident. 2 years have passed since that case was closed. It was going to completely end with the transferal that day.
Not if I have anything to do with it. That incident's not over.
But what did you hope to accomplish by sneaking into the evidence room?
When a case is closed, only that case's lead detective can look through the evidence. I wanted to have a look at it myself one more time. No matter what the cost. I don't care what anyone says, partner. That case is mine.
But Officer Marshall wasn't in charge of that investigation. Why does he care so much about it?
That day was my last chance. That's why I...
Hold it!
continued the testimony.
Why did you disguise yourself as Detective Goodman? Okay, now you're just being rude.
If I didn't make it look like Goodman was carrying out the evidence transferal, I'd be arrested for stealing evidence, which wouldn't get me anywhere.
Instead, you're being arrested for murder. So you did it to fool the security camera.
And the detective's ID card?
I stole that the morning of the incident.
So that really was why Goodman started filling out that lost item report.
I returned his ID card. I left it on the floor in the prosecutor's office parking lot.
Return.
It's not returning it.
The ID card I found was left there by Officer Marshall. Me returning a library book by leaving it on the floor in the parking lot of a random building. So essentially, you managed to succeed despite your lack of foresight.
What do you mean, partner?
I mean the fingerprint-activated lock, of course. No matter how well you disguise yourself, you can't change your fingerprints. Unless
This
you
isn't the Men
burn
in
them
Black.
off, like the guy in the last case. Under normal circumstances, you wouldn't have been able to open that locker yourself. But he could, because a rubber glove just happened to get stuck in the door. That means Detective Goodman must have opened the locker before Officer Marshall. Hold it! You pulled a knife on Officer Meekins and tried to drive him off?
Let's just say I was a little surprised. I only planned on being in the evidence room for no more than 5 minutes. Didn't think anyone would actually come in during that short time.
Officer Meekins certainly is a one-in-a-million type of person. Mistaking a detective for an intruder and demanding to be shown his ID.
I'll have to think a little more about his raise this year.
There it is.
Oh,
When did Edgeworth get so much influence?
As always.
Anyway, he threw himself at me and I ended up cutting him slightly. Sorry it had to turn out that way. With me knocking him out and everything.
By the way, what happened to your knife?
Oh, this one that I'm using to shave currently? This one
God.
that I'm using to shave currently?
I don't know what to say.
We'll let you bring that into the courtroom.
Hmm. So you knocked
Shame.
Officer Meekins out, and
They didn't want Cody to have a camera in here, but they were like, yeah, this man can bring a knife.
he's a police officer. Clearly it's fine.
He's exempt from metal detectors.
Hold it! So you did your research beforehand.
Those who go into the desert unprepared don't live long, partner.
God.
I didn't think it would make a difference, though. The security tape is erased every 6 hours. If all had gone as planned, no footage would have been left.
However, you bloodied your coat in your struggle with Officer Meekins.
If someone was in the security room when I came out, the jig would have been up. I opened my locker and stashed it in there.
What was Officer Meekins doing during that time?
What else? He was sleeping like a baby.
So what you're saying is, on that day,
Hold it! But the blood found at the scene certainly indicates a crime took place.
What are you, blind? The victim shown on that tape is me, and I'm not dead yet, partner.
So you stole the evidence from the locker.
Actually, no, I didn't.
Why not?
When I opened the locker, the evidence was already gone.
Oh?
Evidence?
what?
Girl?
Mr. Edgeworth, where is that evidence?
Gone forever.
It's still missing, Your Honor. Oh shit, missing evidence. Detective Goodman's locker was already empty. Someone else stole the evidence. Officer Marshall, may I ask you one thing?
No.
Okay.
Fire away, partner. It's a free country. Just remember, I'm also free to decide whether or not to answer.
You're
No,
not.
you're not.
Under oath.
Why did you do this? Why? Why did you do this? Stealing a detective's ID, injuring a police officer. This is no small offense. Play the sad music. Moreover, you're an officer yourself. This will have serious consequences. It can't just be forgiven with a simple cut in salary. Not that salary cuts are ever a valid solution.
Like I said, this isn't your case. This one is mine. And I'll do anything it takes to get an answer I'm satisfied with.
The witness has an unusual amount of zeal. Let's hear more.
This isn't your favorite soap opera. What?